presence or existence of electric field line can be pictorially represented by imaginary lines. These lines are called electric field lines. These electric field lines are also called as electric lines of force. Electric lines of force. The electric field can be pictorially represented by imaginary lines called electric field lines. The concept of electric field lines was given by Michael Faraday. Michael Faraday given these electric field lines to represent the electric field. Now see the definition of electric field line. An electric field line is an imaginary path drawn in the electric field along which a positive test charge tends to move. See the definition of electric field line. An electric field line is an imaginary path drawn in an electric field along which a positive test charge tends to move. Now let us see some patterns of electric field lines for different charges. Patterns of electric field lines. For different charges. See how we can represent these electric field lines to represent the electric field. See in case of positive point charge, for positive charge the electric field lines are outward directed. So the electric field lines are directed towards that negative charge. So this is the pattern of electric field lines in case of a negative point charge. So in case of unlike charges, system of unlike charges, consider one positive charge and a negative charge. This is a system of unlike charges. This is the pattern for the electric field lines in case of a system of unlike charges. Then for like charges, system of like charges, consider two positive charges separated by small distance. So here system consisting of two like charges, that is positive charges. In this case, that a negative charge. So this is the pattern of electric field lines in case of a uniform electric field. Now let us see from these the properties of electric field lines. Properties of electric field lines. First property. So as you know from these patterns, electric field lines start from positive charge and ends on a negative charge. First property, start from positive charge and ends on a negative charge. Electric field lines start from positive charge and ends on a negative charge. Second property, the tangent drawn at any point on the electric field. So these electric field lines, they may be straight lines or curved lines. So if we draw the tangent to the electric field line at any point, that gives the direction of electric field at that point. See, in this case, for this electric field line, if we draw the tangent at this point, so this gives the direction of electric field at this point only. So therefore the tangent drawn on an electric field line gives direction of electric field. Electric field lines never intersect. Two electric field lines never intersect. The reason for this, why these two electric field lines never intersect, the reason is that, so if the two electric field lines intersect, two tangents can be drawn at that point, which gives the two directions of electric field at that point, it is impossible. See, consider these electric field lines. So here one tangent is drawn to this electric field line that gives direction of electric field. Suppose another line if intersect at this point, so if we draw the electric field line at this point, so we get two directions of electric field lines at a point. It is impossible. A positive charge, it tends to move along any one path, not along two paths at a time. So therefore two electric field lines never intersect. So this property that may be asked for 1 or 2 marks. Why two electric field lines never intersect? The answer is that if the two electric field lines intersect, at the point of intersection two tangents can be drawn, so which gives the two directions of electric field at that point. It is impossible, hence two electric field lines never intersect. And fourth property, the electric field lines are crowded in the region of stronger field and they spread out in the region of a weaker field. They are crowded in the region of stronger field and spread out in the region of weaker field. Fourth properties, the electric field lines are crowded in the region of stronger field and spread out in the region of a weaker field. So near the charge electric field, their electric field. Fifth one, the electric field lines are equally spaced and parallel to one another in the uniform field. They are equally spaced and parallel in a uniform field. If the field is uniform, the electric field lines are equally spaced and parallel to one another, as you seen in the patterns. Sixth one, the density of electric field lines at a point gives the strength of electric field at that point. The density of electric field lines at any point that represents the strength of electric field at that point. The density of electric field lines at a point represents the strength of field at that point. This is sixth property. If the more and more electric field lines they are crowded, so their density of electric field lines is more, the strength of the electric field at that point is more. Therefore, so the density of electric field lines at a point in the field that represents the strength of electric field at that point. Next, seventh one, for a charged conductor, the electric field lines are always normal to the conductor. For charged conductor, electric field lines are always two electric field lines never intersect. If they do so at that point, so at that point two tangents to be drawn that gives the two directions of electric field at that point, which is impossible. Hence two electric field lines never intersect. And fourth property is, so the electric field lines are crowded in the region of stronger field and spread out in the region of a weaker field. And fifth property is the electric field lines are equally spaced and parallel in a uniform electric field. And sixth one is the density of the electric field lines at a point represents the or gives the strength of electric field at that point. So seventh one is, for any charged conductor, the electric field lines are always normal to the surface of the conductor. And eighth property is, the electric field lines never enter into a conductor. These are the 8 properties of electric field lines. Make perfect of these. Any two may be asked for 2 marks. Next, see area vector. Area vector. So we know that area is a scalar quantity. Area is a scalar quantity. But sometimes we need to know the direction of a surface area. So in case of conductors, so if charge is given to the conductor, for surface of the conductor, so there sometimes we need that the direction of a surface area. This is represented by a vector called area vector. Area is a scalar quantity, but sometimes we need to know the direction of surface area. In such cases, area of the surface can be represented by a vector called area vector. For example, for small area element, consider any small area element. So area vector is an outward normal. An area vector is a outward normal drawn to the area element. So here this area vector is represented by an arrow drawn perpendicular to the area element. So this area is this arrow is outward drawn normal. It is along the outward drawn normal. If we consider any one surface, consider this is one surface. If we draw an arrow from this surface, so this represents the area vector. Therefore, it is area vector is an arrow drawn normal to the or perpendicular to the area element. Let n cap, eta cap, let eta cap is outward drawn normal. Eta cap is unit vector. If eta cap is unit vector, it is drawn along the outward normal drawn to the area element. Then the area vector can be represented as delta S is equal to delta S into eta cap. Here eta cap is unit vector drawn along this area vector delta S. Therefore, area vector delta S is equal to delta S into eta cap. Delta S is area of this element and eta cap is a unit vector. It is along the outward drawn normal to the area element. So, delta S into eta cap, that gives area vector delta S. Here delta S is area of the element, eta cap, that gives the direction of this area. So therefore delta S into eta cap, that gives the area vector delta S. Okay. Now let us see the electric flux. Let's see what is flux. Flux is some kind of a flow. Flux is a type of a flow. Electric flux, that measures the number of electric field lines passing through the given area. Electric flux measures the number of electric field lines passing through the given area. So, see definition of this electric flux. An electric flux through given surface area is defined as the number of electric field lines passing normally through that given surface area. The electric flux through the surface area is defined as the total number of electric field lines passing normally through that area. Mathematically, this electric flux is given by electric flux is equal to normal component of electric field. It is product of normal component of electric field and area. Electric flux equals to electric field or electric intensity into area. It is a normal component. Means component of the electric field normal to the area element into area. Mathematically, the electric flux is given by the product of a normal component of electric intensity and area. It is denoted by pi. Electric flux is denoted by pi, that is pi equals to normal component is E cos theta into area A. See here, if we consider one surface, here E cos theta is a normal component of electric field vector and A is a area vector. So therefore this is a dot product of two vectors, electric field vector and area vector. Therefore pi equals to vector E dot vector A. So thus electric flux is the dot product of electric field vector and area vector. It is in vector form. But this electric flux is a scalar quantity, even though it is the product of two vectors, but this vector is a scalar product. Therefore electric flux is a scalar quantity, and SI unit of electric flux is Newton meter square per coulomb. Newton per coulomb is the unit of electric field and area unit is meter square. Therefore the SI unit of electric flux is Newton meter square per coulomb. So this electric flux is a scalar quantity, and the direction of this electric flux, if it is outwards from the surface, is taken as a positive, or an electric flux directed outwards from the surface is taken as a positive, and an electric flux directed inwards to the surface is taken as a negative. Means from surface, from any given surface, if the electric flux is outward directed, that outward directed electric flux is taken as a positive, and inward directed to the surface is taken as a negative. Okay, electric flux is positive for electric flux is outward directed from the surface, and electric flux is taken as a negative for the electric flux directed towards the surface. So here theta is the angle between electric field vector and area vector. He makes an angle theta with the normal to the area element. Then electric flux in this case is, let us see this figure. So this is the direction of electric field E. The normal to this surface is delta S vector, area vector. If it makes an angle theta, consider an area element delta S. This is area element delta S, which is inclined to the direction of the electric field as shown in this figure. Here the electric field vector makes an angle theta with the normal to the surface or area vector delta S. In this case, the electric flux is given by delta pi is equal to, for small area element delta S, electric flux is delta pi, so it is equals to, so component of this electric field along this normal to the surface is E cos theta, and the area is delta S. This is equals to E delta S cos theta. Therefore, delta pi in this case is vector E dot vector delta S. See, example. Consider this surface. So this is the direction of the electric field. Consider this red pen is the direction of case 2. So in this case, if consider an area element delta S which is normal to the direction of the electric field. Here the electric field E makes an angle of 0 degree with the normal drawn to the area element. Then in this case, See this figure first. This is the direction of electric field. So if we draw the normal to this area element, that is also in the direction of electric field. In this case, angle between the direction of electric field and normal to the area element is 0 degree. In this case, delta pi is equal to E cos 0 degree into delta S. Cos 0 degree is 1. So in this case, the electric flux is maximum, that is E into delta S, because cos 0 degree is 1. Let us see this by example. Consider this surface. It is an area element. So this is the direction of electric field. And the which is electric field is normal to this surface, or surface makes 90 degree of electric field, or this surface is held normal to the electric field, and the direction of normal drawn to this surface is also along this direction. Both are in the same direction. Angle between the electric field vector and area vector in this case is 0 degree. Both are in the same direction. Normal drawn to this surface is along the electric field. Therefore, in this case, the electric field flux is E into delta S. Now let us see the third case. Third case, consider an area element delta S. Parallel to the direction of the electric field. So here the electric field that makes an angle of 90 degree with the normal drawn to the area element or area vector. In this case, the electric flux, first see the figure. This is the direction of electric field. These are electric field lines. So normal drawn to this area element is this is the area vector delta is 0, 0 into anything is 0, therefore delta pi in this case is 0, is 0. So if the electric field that makes an angle of 90 degree with the area element, so then the electric flux is 0. If the surface area is normal to the direction of electric field as in the second case, so electric flux is maximum, that is E into delta S. If the surface makes any angle or if the surface is inclined with an angle theta with the direction of electric field, then electric flux is delta pi equals to E cos theta into delta S, or electric flux delta pi equals to vector E dot vector delta S. So this can be observed like this. Consider this surface, it is an area element. So here these are the directions of electric field lines. Electric field lines, these black pens that indicates the electric field lines. So if these are the electric field lines, then direction of electric field is along this direction. If we draw the normal to this surface, so this red pen represents the direction of normal drawn to the surface, that represents the area vector. So angle between this area vector and electric field in this case is 90 degree. So in this case the electric flux is 0. And in fourth case, consider case 4. Fourth case, consider any one closed surface S which encloses a charge plus Q. Consider one closed surface S which encloses a charge plus Q. Total charge in this surface is plus Q. To find the total electric flux through this number of small area elements. So this closed surface that encloses charge Q. So now through these area elements, small area elements, the electric intensities are E1, E2, so on, En respectively along these surfaces. Take down, this is E1, E2, E3, so on. So we know that according to the properties of field lines, electric field line is always normal to the surface of the conductor. So here the electric intensities through these surfaces are E1, E2, E3, so on, En. Through these surfaces delta S1, delta S2, delta S3, so on, delta Sn. So in this case, if normal to this area element delta S1 is along the direction of electric intensity E1, here this is delta S2, it makes an angle, certain angle is theta 1 here, theta 2, normal to this surface is delta S3 vector makes an angle theta 3 so on. See once again. Consider a closed surface S which encloses a charge plus Q. It encloses a charge plus Q. To determine the total electric flux through this closed surface S, the surface can be divided into small area elements delta S1, delta S2, so on, delta Sn plus so on, delta pi n are the electric flux through small area elements delta S1, delta S2, delta S3, so on, delta Sn respectively. This can be given by pi equals to E1 delta S1 cos theta 1 plus E2 delta S2 cos theta 2 plus so on plus En delta Sn cos theta n. The total electric flux through the entire closed surface is pi equals to E1 delta S1 cos pi 1 plus E2 delta S2 cos pi 2 plus so on plus En delta Sn cos theta n. So this is equals to pi is equal to, in this case is it is a dot product E1 dot delta S1 plus E2 dot delta S2 plus so on plus En dot delta Sn. Therefore, pi equals to the summation of vectors. So E1 delta S1 plus E2 delta S2 plus so on plus En delta Sn. So this gives sigma Ei vector dot delta Si vector where I is equal to 1 to n. This expression gives the total electric flux through any closed surface. So these are the different cases in which we can find the electric flux. Okay. So here I will stop. Tomorrow we will discuss about the Gauss law to find the total electric flux through any closed surface. Okay. Thank you.